Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Odds here. It's Thursday, and the Raptors are playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight at Scotiabank Arena. And also, there's a school game at the Scotiabank Arena at 11 a.m. The Greensboro Swarm versus 905. So I'm going to get done pretty quick this morning because we got to watch some basketball in about an hour and 45 minutes. So we need to be an hour and, 11 o'clock? Hour and 45 minutes. Yeah. So we got to be ready. Hour and 45 minutes. So I'm definitely going to be logging off at 10:45, no matter what, because I want to watch 905 play against Reggie Perry and the Greensboro Swarm in their game this morning. In fact, in that game, all of our players are going to be there. Blake Murphy on Blue Skies this morning posting that Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed, and Jonathan Mobo have been assigned to the 905 for this morning's game. Yesterday, Jamison Battle had been assigned already. So we're going to see all our rookies play in the 11 o'clock game this morning before the Oklahoma City game tonight. So there may be some double duty. I mean, both games are in the same arena, and it could very well be that we're going to see some double duty in Jacoby Walter, Jonathan Mobo, Jamal Shed, and Jamison Battle. These are the reserves. These are the cavalry, the reinforcements that Andrew Jones is looking for. That we're going to get the very premium rookie class of the Toronto Raptors to go and help the Mississauga team. Yeah, this morning, 11 a.m. That's why it's much watch. The children will be there yelling. The school game's fun because the kids good to go for reward, for good attendance, good citizenship, good grades. So, yeah, there's going to be a bunch of screaming kids at Scotiabank at 11 o'clock screaming for the 905 to beat the Greensboro Swarm, who are 8-1 and have only lost once this season. Yikes. Yikes. All right, let's get into the preview. Happy birthday, Trevor. Happy birthday to Trevor. Happy birthday to Trevor. Happy birthday, Trevor J. Happy birthday to you. That's right. It's Commissioner J's birthday. That's our birthday today. I'm going to write it on the birthday list, Trevor, because I want to make sure I don't forget this. I'm friends with you on Facebook. I saw it on Facebook. And I see you in the comments saying something about it there. But we're going to put Trevor J's birthday on the official Raptor Freak birthday calendar so that I will never, ever miss it again. So, yeah, Trevor J, December the 5th. Boom, goes the dynamite. Trevor J, boom. Commissioner J, you have been added to the birthday spreadsheet. All right, let's do the latest lineup news for the Oklahoma City game versus the Toronto Raptors in Scotiabank Arena. Of course, we had the WNBA team name has been released for official. We'll talk about this. A little bit of the logo released also. So we'll talk about that soon, but we'll cover everything, classic card, Instagram stories, everything we do. But let's start with the preview right off the bat. First of all, Toronto has got listed. Grady Dick is questionable once again. So it's the same status he was for the last game. Who knows? Maybe Grady will play tonight. It'd be nice to see Grady return to the court. Shamshay has been out. He's out because he's ill. And there's something weird about going on with Shamshay. He was a scratch from the last game against Greensboro Swarm, and I was wondering why. And then I saw that Blake Murphy had posted on Blue Skies that Shamshay was ill. So I don't know. Maybe this kid went to Miami with the team, went down south, and was used to 80-degree weather, came back up to Toronto, and this has been a snowy week. This has been a colder than average week. And it could very well be that Shamshay got a tough lesson about wearing layers and clothes in Canada and that he's sick right now. In some ways, listen, he posted something that I'm not totally happy about yesterday, saying that this African guy can't deal with this cold, is what he said on his Instagram. So, Shamshay, you're a long-term project for us. You better get used to it, my guy. Go fucking buy a Canada Goose jacket. Go buy some extra layers and stuff and stay inside. You don't need to be running around in the snow and outside in Canada in the December unless you need to be out there. And if you are out there, you better wear proper clothing. But yeah, I don't like hearing that Shamshay's already complaining about Canada being too cold. That's not a good sign. Let's just put it that way, guys. DJ Carton is ruled out today also. His ankle is still bothering him, so he will not be available for either game today. Kelly Olynyk is still out with his back, but he has been practicing more and more. He's ramping up his conditioning for a return to game action soon, according to Blake Murphy. Coach Darko has said that Manuel Quickley remains limited to individual drills, and is not doing full contact practice yet, but Emmanuel quickly is coming closer and closer to coming back also. And Bruce Brown, who's already ruled out for Sunday's game against the Heat, is ramping up his conditioning also for a return to game action. So it sounds like Kelly and Bruce are getting closer and closer to coming back because they're ramping it up. They're ramping up things to get ready to go back to game action. I love that. Thank you, Blake Murphy, for your information on what's going on there. So, yeah, we'll see what's the starting lineup probably going to be for the Raptors tonight. Well, Scotty Barnes at point guard, maybe Jacoby Walter starting once again, depending on things, how they go this morning or what's going on. Who knows? We'll have to see. RJ Barrett, Oshai Abaji, and Jakob Poeltl. Yeah, Davion Mitchell may be starting instead of Jacoby, depending on how they want to handle things between the 905 and the Raptors and him playing for 905 this morning. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. Oklahoma City, let's go see what's going on with them, guys. I was checking them out. They're a top team in the West. They are first in their division, 16-5, guys. This is a good team. There's no joke. And even though they have some key injuries right now, they're doing pretty good, not skipping a beat and doing very competitive things all season. We'll start with Jalen Williams is out. This is not the Jalen Williams that is the number one Jalen Williams. This is Jalen Williams with the Y, second Jalen Williams. It's just to discern these things. Because in some ways I can spell it out. Jalen, Jaylin Williams is out against Toronto tonight, hamstring injury. So, yeah, that Jalen's out. But the other Jalen's fine. The good one, the one that's like on all the rankings and talked about more. So the second Jalen Williams is out. Alex Dukas is out. He got hip checked in the fourth quarter of a Sunday game, and he's still out. So he's out with his hip. Ousmane Dieng will miss 3 to 4 weeks since around Thanksgiving due to a right fracture, a right ring finger fracture. I should say right ring finger fracture, Lex. Chet Holmgren, of course, is out now. He suffered a right hip fracture. And I don't think he's going to be back for a while. They say he won't be back for 8 to 10 weeks from the beginning of November. So he's going to be out till the new year for sure. Nikola Topic, young Serbian player, he has had ACL surgery, and he is going to miss this whole entire season with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So those are the injuries for the Thunder right now. And who do they have then, obviously, otherwise? Well, our guy SGA, of course. Number 2 is the starting point guard for the Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll be seeing SGA return to Toronto tonight to face his Team Canada friend, RJ Barrett. And that'll be a fun marquee matchup. He's starting now with Cason Wallace. Cason Wallace is starting in the backcourt these days. Luguentz Dort, another great Team Canada player at the small forward, friends with Chris Boucher. Should be fun to see the Montreal guys go against each other. The first Jalen Williams starting at power forward. And Isaiah Hartenstein has returned from injury and is available to play for the Thunder, and he will be suited up for them tonight at center. Guys off their bench, let's just go over their roster just so everybody knows who's coming. A.J. Mitchell, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Dylan Jones, Kenrick Williams. Let's see. Alex Caruso, he's actually off the injury list now. He was listed a couple days ago, but Caruso is healthy, and he will be available for the Thunder tonight. So expect to see the veteran Alex Caruso off the bench for the Thunder tonight. Brendan Carlson, backup center, is on this list. I checked out some of their games recently. Carlson got in for a hot cup of coffee in the last game they played. He went 0 for 4 and missed every shot he took, just so y'all know. So Carlson is in their rotation. It could very well be that they're going to use Brendan Carlson against us tonight. We'll have to see. He's really kind of a garbage time player right now. If the team is winning and beating another team by a lot, or they're losing, which isn't often for the Thunder, then he's getting in. But otherwise, he's not getting meaningful minutes, just so you know. So Brendan Carlson is on their rotation list. Adam Flagler is another player that's on their list also. Yeah, the Thunder have been playing pretty good this season. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games. Their last loss to Houston and Freddie last Sunday on the 1st. So, yeah, they've been rolling, not missing a beat. This is going to be a great test for our Raptors and what they've been doing recently at home and the chemistry and what we're doing. In some ways, this is what we want. We want a top-level opponent that is playing at a high level to test ourselves, a stress test, to see how we are, where we at, and see if we need a lot more work. And it could very well be we find out tonight that there is stuff that we are glaringly missing that we do need. But who knows? It could also be that we run really well and we kick the shit out of a team that nobody thought we should. And that could happen tonight. I'm not going to lie. There could be a possibility that we are going to win this game tonight against the Thunder, because every time two teams show up at a game, one team's going to win. And we have just a chance to beat them at home, just as much as, they got to beat us. And some people say, you're crazy, Lex. It's not that even. Well, it may be more favoring them just a little bit, but don't count us out. We're playing at a very high level. And if Coach Darko gets us started right, and Scotty and RJ are taking this game seriously, and they want to be the top guys on the court against Gilgeous-Alexander, well, they can do it. They can do it. I believe in them. All right, let's go look at the refs, guys. The refs aren't bad. The refs aren't bad. They sent us a very fair ref crew. Curtis Blair is our crew chief today, number 74. He's in his 16th season out of Roanoke, Virginia. His favorite TV show is Dexter. I wonder if he likes that new Dexter show. His favorite movie is Grease. He likes to listen to Casey and JoJo. He eats lamb curry. He'd most like to visit Brazil. And his hidden talent is tennis. Curtis Blair has 6 seasons of NBA G League experience and refereed the 2008 NBA G League Finals. He also officiated in several collegiate conferences, including the ACC, the Atlantic 10, and the Colonial Athletic Association. Curtis Blair is a fantastic ref for the Raptors. We win 58% of our games. But his favorite team, statistic-wise, with the highest win percentage out of all 30 NBA teams, is the Oklahoma City Thunder. So he has a 69% win percentage for them. We did lose the first game this season that Curtis Blair officiated for the Raptors. So we're 0-1 so far this season with them. So the split is 58-69, very high percentages with an edge to, obviously, the Oklahoma City Thunder. But yeah, Curtis Blair is a great ref. He was drafted in the NBA by the Rockets. And, he's not bad. He's not bad. In some ways, I'm glad Curtis Blair is going to be here, even though his win percentage with the Thunder is crazy. Crazy. 69% winning percentage for the Thunder the whole entire career of Curtis Blair. All right, our second ref is the guy that Scotty freaked out on the other day. Trey Maddox is back for another game. And, Scotty, you can't be doing that. If he gives you a tech, don't be showing him up, because it didn't look good and we lost that game. So in some ways, you got to do winning plays. Well, winning plays in some ways is somewhat respecting the refs. Don't be like Fred and be like, you bitch, you bitch, you bitch, because in some ways that didn't help Fred at all, even if he expressed it and felt good. But I'm just saying, 13th season, number 23 out of Great Lakes, Illinois. Trey Maddox likes to watch the show Power. His favorite movie is Training Day. He likes to listen to Michael Jackson. Favorite book is Quiet Strength. His favorite meal is steak and lobster. His favorite app, Fight List. He must like to visit Dubai. His bucket list is to attend the Open Championship, and his hidden talent is to play the piano. This man's a piano player. He considers his most memorable NBA assignment. Actually, I should read this one. I'll read this one. He considers his most memorable NBA assignment to be his first game, a double overtime matchup between the Clippers and the Jazz on November the 6th, 2010. Yeah. Trey Maddox, once again, I said this the other day. He's a great ref for the Raptors, Scotty. So please don't yell at him. Please don't make fun of him and be like, ooh, don't do that. This dude's cool. We have the highest win percentage with him out of all of them today. We win 60% of our games with Trey Maddox. We lost that game that he ref recently, that Scotty showed him up. And so it went down. It was higher before. But once again, just like Curtis Blair, the Thunder have a higher win percentage than us, and they win 61%. So the split 60-61 for the Thunder with the second ref, Trey Maddox. But honestly, these splits are, favorable for both teams. They're very favorable refs to both teams. The third ref is Nate Green, number 41 in his 5th season out of Des Moines, Iowa. His favorite TV show is The Wire. His favorite movie is Coming to America. He likes to listen to Selena Johnson. His favorite book is Lone Survivor. He'll eat some tagliatelle bolognese. His favorite app is Netflix, and he most like to visit Africa. Nate Green officiated 4 seasons in the NBA G League, including the 2019 finals. His officiating experience also includes 6 years in college basketball, ACC, Atlantic 10, SEC, and American conferences, and 5 years at the high school level in Indiana. Yeah, Nate Green, once again, these reps are all really good reps for the Raptors. They're all really good. We have like 58 win percentage with them all. That's exactly what the win percentage is for Nate Green, 58%. And meanwhile, he's not so nice to Thunder as the other two guys, though. They win 1 out of 3 games with him. 33% for the Thunder. So he actually favors the Raptors. The third ref, 58-33. And we have not seen Nate Green in a regular season game this year. We had him in preseason, but we have not had him in regular season. So there's your referees. All very good high percentages. In fact, they're all very near each other on my referee spreadsheet as far as being good for the Raptors in a good section, but they're very good for the Thunder also, just so y'all know. Yeah, Curtis Blair, Trey Maddox, Nate Green is our ref crew for tonight. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying this morning. So Teresa Resch, let's go to the Instagram stories real quick because I need to get this out of the way right away. First of all, we need to do the refs for the G League game. For the G League game at 11, Sarah Williams, number 20, is the crew chief. Jafar Kinsey is the referee, number 38. And the umpire will be Lars Murray, number 35. Now, kids, try not to throw any chocolate bars on the court like you did the last time you were at Scotiabank Arena. Some child threw a big chocolate bar in the middle of half court. It's so weird. I think that Eric Curry had to go pick it up off the court. That was funny last year. All right, yeah, this game day for the 905. They're starting at 11 a.m., guys, and 90 minutes from now. We'll be watching some 905 against Greensboro Swarm. So we got to get the stream over and done with. So don't fill it up too much. We'll talk for a little while. We'll react to what I'm about to talk about right here. Teresa Resch has made it official, and I don't think she planned on doing it this soon. In fact, they were saying they didn't want to do this till January, but the WNBA screwed up and posted the team name of the Toronto Raptors and leaked it on their official website. And some very astute person caught it and saw it, and now the name is out. So now Teresa Resch had to go straight to breakfast television this morning and officially announce that it is indeed our name for our team. And they have a logo. It's like a purple. It's a dark, dark purple. It's like a wine purple. And then they have a logo with a ball with a little bit of movement spikes coming off of it, like it's going across, a little bit like the Pacers little basketball and the P of the Pacers logo. And it's got a T on it. And I don't mind the purple. The purple's nice. It's a different kind of winey purple than the Raptors kind of purple, but it's not that far off. And in some ways, people love purple so much with the Raptors. Well, maybe that's part of the thinking with making this color the team color for the Toronto Tempo. So it is official. She came on breakfast television this morning and it released it. And they have an ad out already showing upbeat kind of city life with people playing basketball and like a pulse to it. And that's the thing they're trying to say. This is the tempo. There's a tempo. I don't know. In some ways, I know a lot of people are reacting poorly to this so far. In some ways, some people made the joke. I hope this name is Tempo Rary, that it needs to be a new name. I mean, all right. Like I said yesterday, I'm still not going to officially say what I'm going to say about this decision until I see the whole motif. I need to see the mascot still, too. I've seen the colors and the logo a little bit, and now the name. And I'm telling you right now, it's pretty dull. I'm not going to lie. In some ways, if the Raptors were attention-grabbing and new and innovative, this name is not. This is very, very boring. And in some ways, this is sad that they went through that whole process, and this is the best they came up with. Because honestly, we submitted a lot of different names, and I feel like this is not the right one in some ways, but who knows? It could very much grow on me over time. But yeah, I'm going to cover the team regardless. In some ways, the team name is not exactly important, but I'm going to say this right now. This name is not attractive to get people into this team, Teresa Resch. This is not attention grabbing. This is boring. And in some ways, you're kind of starting on the wrong foot with naming this team this. You needed to make something appealing that's kind of interesting. If you have some sort of cartoon character that's going to draw in people, if you have some sort of crazy mascot idea, maybe. But an idea of a tempo, it's not a good one. It's not a good one. And in some ways, I also say this. You say you're going to tie it into Canadian culture. How the fuck does this tie in with Canada? How does this tie in with Canada and our identity here? Seriously. So I don't know. You guys may have stretched on this. And the stress test on this name over time, I don't think you did it right. In some ways, you may have needed to do market testing a little bit with some people just to find out. I don't know. It could be the thing where it like totally grows on me and it makes sense in like 5 years from now too. But right now, I think the initial reaction to the WNBA name is not good. I don't think it's good. I have not seen many people saying it. Like Doug Smith said this morning on Blue Skies that, I don't really care what the name is. I mean, the name's fine, everybody. I think everybody's freaking out about it, but they shouldn't, because it's just a name. Well, in some ways it matters. Let's just put it that way. The reason why the Raptors are a certain way is because of their name, is because of how innovative and crazy we were. And in some ways, this is dull. This is boring. This is milquetoast. This is very, very ordinary. And I'm worried about it. You guys may have been better off getting a really weird name that nobody knew the word of and teaching it to everybody. It's not like everybody knew what a raptor was other than Jurassic Park. In some ways, a raptor is an owl or a hawk also. So, man, in some ways you can educate them a little bit instead of just giving us a generic team name that we might find on Yahoo Fantasy Sports to put our name for our fantasy team on. Oh, Toronto Tempo. Here, your team is Toronto Tempo. It seems like a default name in some ways. And I don't like that in some ways. In some ways, I'm very not pleased with this. But also at the same time, I'm going to love this team no matter what, even if it has a shitty name, is what I'm going to say. Toronto Tempo. There's the logo. Go look at Teresa Resh's stuff. You guys can see the logo itself. And yeah, she's on breakfast television. It's official. And I don't know if she meant to come out and have this out until January, but they sprung it. And she had to come out now and make sure that, it is an official name. If it's going to linger around out there, kind of like, oh, is this the name or not? So I think that this all got screwed up. And they're not probably happy about how this went down, because this is not probably when they wanted to release it. And I don't know if they got the tempo stuff out there. I mean, she's in an interview here saying that she feels like it's a big responsibility to build a team name that's going to be the identity of Toronto sports. And yeah, it is, Teresa. It is a big deal. And in some ways, I'm really worried that you may have gone too generic and too milquetoast and boring. Yeah. All right, let's keep going with the Instagram. There's Slim Duck at the game in Scotiabank Arena, ready in the warm-ups. He's got some weird guy recording a voicemail, singing with the TV. I'm not even sure what's going on there. That's weird. Yeah, Chris has got some wild Instagram. I'm telling you, just some silly shit on there sometimes. Funny jokes, crazy stuff. There's some community service stuff, though. Giving stuff. Slim Duck Foundation, getting a lot of donations for Christmas, for families. That looks fantastic. I love all that. And there you go. There's a check and some more good stuff happening around Slim Dunk Foundation. There we go. There's Bruno is celebrating. Somebody's got some champagne and they're making it shoot. That's major. Malcolm Tungo. I'm not sure what Bruno Fernando's friend Malcolm did. And then he's also got the president of Angola meeting with President Biden on his Instagram right now. So Bruno Fernando's proud of the president of Angola meeting with the president of the United States. Miles Burns is doing an advertisement for a drink, and he's walking around taking drinks of it. And I guess it's like he got an endorsement deal. So yeah, we'll see Miles at 11 o'clock. So I need to get done so we can get back and watch the 905 game coming up. Yeah, been a dog. There you go, Miles, with your drink commercial. Not even sure what you're advertising there. I can't see the label. It's some sort of Gatorade kind of drink. I can't see the label though, Miles. This is a bad commercial. We can't even know what your product is, and you guys are trying to put that on blast. Where's the product name, Miles? You better tell them what the product is. Your company may not be happy you're not endorsing it fully, because we don't know what the product is. I have no idea what that is in that drink, man. You better start telling people. Norman Powell, always cool over in LA. The Clippers. He made an appearance in the Open Gym teaser for next week. We got an Open Gym episode. I got to react to it still on this stream too. So we'll talk about Primo Pasta and Andrea Bagnani Open Gym episode that came out yesterday. We'll definitely do that. A lot to do still on a time crunch. So we're going to get there. Don't worry. We're going to get there. Let's see. Is there anything else on the Instagram I want to go over? Let's see. Emmanuel Quickly showing the Davion highlights. His defensive highlights. So he's a first-team defense is what Manuel's saying about Davion. That's pretty cool. Jamal McGlure, it was on breakfast television this morning also, and he was celebrating the Toronto Tempo name also, and he's got the Shooting Stars. He's got the CBL schedule for the Shooting Stars next season. Very, very cool. I guess they start in May, and they'll run till August, and there's all the games that they've got. The CBL will be back in May with the Scarborough Shooting Stars and stuff. Yeah, there you go. Of course, Jamal is involved with all that. Jamal McGlure with the CBL. Yeah, he's got the logo that Teresa has released today. Toronto Tempo. There it is. All right, let's see. Matt Devlin is putting on for a Fisherman's Friend. You got a Fisherman's Friend advent calendar, it looks like. That's so weird, Matt. That's so weird. Why would they do that, Fisherman's Friend? You got a Fisherman's Friend advent calendar? That's not very fun. Like every time you open it up, you get a different Fisherman's Friend. That's weird, man. What are you living your life when you want a Fisherman's Friend advent calendar? You got to be like Canadian Dana. You want a pot calendar. You want a cannabis calendar or a chocolate calendar. You don't want no Fisherman's Friend advent calendar. What are you doing, Matt Devlin? That's got me all up in arms a little bit more than the team name in some ways. Like, why do you have that? Kelly Olynyk got caught doing air guitar on the sidelines of the last game, after a great transition play with RJ and Scotty. And he's putting on blast. He's got his picture of him doing the air guitar and showing the little clip on his Instagram stories. I did people catch that Kelly air guitar on Tuesday against the Pacers? It was cool. He's like, he did a little Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure there. Totally tubular, dude. Totally tubular. Jamal Shed is celebrating some kid on Texas playing for the Longhorns in college football. It's probably his brother or something like that. Yep, it's his brother is what he's saying. Maybe it's blood or not. It's not brother, but it's a brother. You know what it is. It's either blood brother or not. It's just brother. You know what I'm saying? All right, keep going. Davion signing stuff for the kids. Always doing that. He was doing that like crazy. In fact, I was worried about his safety. Davion Mitchell, before the game against Indiana, went up into the crowd and signed autographs in the middle of them for like 10 minutes. And it was so bad. Some of these kids were running up 2 or 3 times and just bringing more things to keep him signing. He's so nice. And sometimes I worry about him for security because he's literally up in the section in the lower bowl, not near the floor, not near the bench, not near the entryway. He went up in there and like had all these people surrounding him before the game. But he's just like that. He's fan interaction. He wanted to sign stuff for the kids and all the fans, take pictures. There's Davion's girlfriend. Hi. Wow. Wow. All right, let's keep going. There is All Rich post, and it says, I'm too African for this cold. You know, that's a tweet by somebody else. But, oh, man, just get layers. Come on, man. Don't let it turn you off from getting the great Raptors development, Ulrich. Live your life right, bro. You will get chances to be in the sun and be in the heat. And in some ways, the place you need to be in the fall and the winter is in a basketball gym. Put the ball through the hoop and not outside. So stay inside, please. If you live on the path near downtown, just stay underground and walk around down there, Ulrich. You don't need to be walking around outside in Toronto right now. Trust me. I mean, it's cold out here. I've got a bunch of snow on the ground. I don't know how much snow there is downtown, but yeah, it is cold in Canada, and I don't like seeing this. I'm too African for this cold. Come on, Ulrich. Get better. If you have the flu because you weren't wearing layers, wear layers better, bro. Wear layers better. Young Oach posting the picture of him celebrating with Scotty and Davion from the other night in the Indiana win. There's your Instagram stories right there. Teresa Resch officially announcing the name is Toronto Tempo on breakfast television this morning. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. Wow. All right, let's see. Trevor J saying, rivers never go reverse, so try to live like a river. Forget your past and focus on your future. Always be positive. You know, this isn't totally true, Trevor. Rivers will go in reverse sometimes. I know that it sounds crazy, but if I'm going to talk about water thermodynamics, Eric Curry's world of knowledge from his schooling, hydronomics, you know, there are situations where the undertow, or the flow will go the other way, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, there is some truth to this, what I'm saying. But yeah, most of the time you want to go down the river, just go down the river. You don't want to come back and revisit your past. Sometimes it's best to just go forward in life. And I agree with this. I do. I very much do. Thank you for your words of wisdom, Commissioner Trevor J. And happy birthday once again, man. Happy birthday. I know you're going to have a fantastic birthday because you just live it like that, man. That's what he's saying. Have a great day, everyone, because I will. I was blessed to be born this day. I'm heading to the spa. I'm getting pampered for today. There you go. Woo! That's right. Living that high flying, jet flying, profiling life that Trevor J lives. He's going to the spa and getting a pampered treatment on his birthday right now, today. That's great. Happy birthday, Trevor. I sang your birthday already. And, you know, I'll sing again if you want by the end of it. Monique saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew, and happy doubleheader game day. Let's try and make it 3 wins in a row with 905. You just never know anymore. Yeah, I think we're going to be in better shape this morning, though, Mo, considering that our rookies are available too. Andrew Jones, And they're in trouble, man. When they had no Shamshay and no Carton and none of the rookies around, they got their ass handed to them by Reggie Perry and the Greensboro Swarm in the last game. So they're going to play them again. We're going to have the screaming, yelling kids. That kid crowd is such top notch. In fact, if we could have that crowd for the Raptors games, but fully in concert, just a bunch of kids at the games, none of these corporate suits, none of these dinner theater sitting back. Oh, I'm loving the Raptors game. So fun. No, get them kids down there screaming loud kids. They're going to go defense, and let's go Raptors over and over again. All through the game, those kids are the best crowd. And that's the fun. So watch it. 11 o'clock. We're coming up on an hour and 15 minutes till game time. And the great thing is we might see our rookies get double duty today. Let's see Jonathan Mobo kick ass at 11 a.m. and then come back to the arena and kick some ass at 7:30 also. Yeah, Mo will be at the game. She won't be watching the game this morning or going to the game this morning, but she's going to the game tonight against SGA, Lou Dort, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. You bring those vibes down there, Monique, and help us get that win. That's right. Let's make it 3 in a row at home and continue to improve on our home record and also continue to get that regular record even better and better. 7-15 looks so much better than 2-13, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It really, really does. And we have been winning more than we've been losing recently. December has been very nice to us. We have not lost in December yet. So let's continue to go in that trend. That's right. Monique's saying, great to hear Andrea Bagnani speak highly on Open Gym about Toronto. All right, let's do this. This is my official review for the Open Gym episode from yesterday that was released and dropped. Open Gym has been top-notch this year. They're doing a chronicle of the history of the 30 years of the Raptors franchise. And they've been taking care of different, periods. They did a double episode on Vince Carter recently that covered the stuff around the Vince era with his dunk competition and all the festivities we've done this year to honor Vince. And it's been fantastic. Those were some of the best Open Gym episodes I've ever seen. And, well, they brought another dandy out yesterday, focusing on the Bosch era, but not really centering it on Bosch. Of course, Bosch was given his due in different ways as him being the leader, but obviously they asked him to be interviewed, and he said no. Punk-ass little Miami Heat bitch. And it's some ways it's like, whatever, Chris. If you still don't understand that you should embrace your legacy with the Raptors, but you don't want to because you turned your back on us and went to South Beach with LeBron and won a couple of championships, and now you're Miami Heat, and that's all you care about, that's fine. We don't need to make it focused around you. In fact, we kind of glossed over you in that Open Gym episode and focused on Andrea Bagnani, TJ Ford, Jose Calderon, Jorge Garboza. And yeah, in some ways, that's great. Chris Bosh, you're a footnote. Chris Bosh, you're just a guy in the background who just kind of talked about, yeah, it was great when he got mad at everybody. Sam Mitchell is awesome in this episode too. The interviews were fantastic. So fun to see old Raptors people now grown older and what their perspective. And man, that was such a fun episode. I mean, they were talking about how after Vince left, it really did get to this point where nobody wanted to play for Toronto from the States. So we're like, well, what are we going to do? Let's get players from around the world. And we started acquiring people like Jose Calderon and Garboza and Bargnani. And it was fantastic. I love hearing from those guys. Andrea looks fantastic. Like, he looks so great. And he's very interesting because you don't hear from him. He's right. In his interviews, say, I've never been good at interviews or media. Never been good at it. So a lot of you don't know anything about me. And I'm like, yeah, this is true. But he was so good in this interview. And he's like saying, I've never really kind of left Toronto or Canada. I still come here and spend a lot of time here all the time. And I love it here. In fact, if I had my way, I would have played my whole career in Toronto. And this place is very special to me, and I care about it. He even said that he felt more at home in Toronto than in Italy. Thank you, Little Italy College. You guys over there made him feel at home here. And in some ways, he had less pressure, and he liked being here more. Man, he's such a real one. I wish we had known this all along. And, in some ways, the way people have sullied him and put him down, this Open Gym episode yesterday is a propaganda for his honor. Because honestly, you got people on there saying this guy was good. I don't understand why everybody says he's so bad. Just because he's a number one pick and he didn't fucking turn into LeBron, you dumbasses. That dude was a good NBA player. He averaged a double-double for many years, and he kicked ass, and he played at a high level and had a long career, like 10 years. So he's not an NBA bust like everybody tries to say that Andrea Bargnani is. He never has been. And in fact, I love seeing people like Jay Skeets saying like I have a soft spot for him. He was the number one pick for the Raptors. I do too. That's something we should be proud of. And in some ways, this open gym episode is reclaiming our culture and putting it out there that like, no, he's not the butt of a joke. This man was a proud moment in the Raptors history that we drafted El Mago at number 1 with Brian Colangelo. And then he had a good NBA career. I don't give a shit what anybody says about Bargnani. If you say he was a bad NBA player, you're a dumbass and you do not understand basketball because that man played well and he had a good career. So I love it. We're standing for him. And in some ways, I love what he said about Toronto. He loves Canada. He loves Toronto. He's a real one. And he's ensconced in my real ones for alumni for this team at this point. It was dubious, his position on Toronto in Canada. We traded him. Masai traded him to New York. Traded him away. It probably broke his heart. He never wanted to leave Toronto. And in some ways, now that we know from Andrea's own mouth where he stands, I wholeheartedly embrace him as a full-fledged honoring Raptors alumni that we should celebrate and protect and speak highly of, is how I feel about it. Of course, the stuff with Jose is Jose. And that's, I love listening to TJ Ford too. Because that period was the Ford Calderon backcourt, the controversy of the point guards and who would start. That was such an interesting time. And the fact that they just really enjoyed playing with each other because it was so different. TJ saying in the episode, I used to love sitting on the bench watching Jose play. He's clearing up the air too because they really thought, oh, there's such a point guard controversy between TJ Ford and Jose Calderon. No, they were fans of each other. They were completely fans. And talking to Garboza is so awesome. He's a 15 that I can respect. That's what I'm saying right there. And yeah, they went over the Grizzly interview, the injury that happened to him. Sam Mitchell talking about, I told him not to run out and just let it go. But Jorge says, it is my job. It's like, I'm going to break my leg in half because it's my job. Oh my gosh. The history it's teaching. I'm seeing in the comments of the Open Gym episode yesterday, and then some kids are coming in there. I just started watching the Raptors 4 years ago, and now I'm learning so much. Thank you, Open Gym. That's right. Y'all need education, young ones, to understand where we come from and the names of Bargnani, Garboza, TJ Ford, and stuff like that. Yeah, they went in on how we've really gone in an international flavor and how that team was. Sam Mitchell admitting that my best team I ever coached in the NBA was mostly European. Yeah, because at a time, you know, and Andrea's so funny. He says, yeah, Anthony Parker, he counts as a European player. I love that stuff. There's such a heartwarming story of this episode. And, you know, it's so cool to see Garboza, Bargnani, Colangelo, and a lot of these guys at this point and what they're about. And I love it. All of them say they don't regret anything about their time in Toronto, even though it was a losing time mostly, and it wasn't a very pleasant time at that time. They look fondly on it. Brian Colangelo left a winning organization to come and run the Raptors at that time. A lot of people don't remember that. And he says he doesn't regret it. It was the best move he could make. It was a fantastic move for himself. But Garboza said it was one of the greatest opportunities he ever had in his life that he got to play for the Toronto Raptors around that time. And he still very proudly puts on display his December Rookie of the Month award that he got from the NBA that year. That means a lot to him. That he has it in his house and he's showing it off. He's like, yeah, I was the Rookie of the Month in December of this year. And man, I just love it, man. I just love the appreciation, the adulation, and the celebration of our franchise, 30 years, and talking about all this stuff. You know what's happening right now, Monique? We're getting culture added into the history books. That in some ways, in our 30th season, the Raptors have stepped up and said, you know what, Boston, you got banners. You got all this history in the league as the Boston Celtics. Well, we're 30 years old now, and we're ready to start showing that we have culture, tradition, and stories from our past that we want to celebrate and put on blast, like Vince Carter, like the great international players of the late 2000s that played for our team. Yeah, and I love it because it's taking. And the Open Gym and what we are doing this season is really kind of a sign that we are turning the corner as a franchise, and we have tradition, we have culture, and I love it. I love it so much. This is really showing more maturity of our franchise and how long it's been in the NBA that we are at this point. That's fantastic. But kudos to the Open Gym people for telling an amazing story and bringing back some people from the past that we haven't seen in a while and letting them speak with their own minds. I love how they did the primo pasta at the end too. Andre's like, "Oh, you go and talk about this." I mean, Bargnani's a smart guy, man. And I know that a lot of people probably bug him with the primo pasta forever, and he gets sick of it probably. But in some ways, he's good-hearted about it. And he's like, "Okay, yeah, yeah." And the guy in the background's like, "I filmed that," and he's like, "You shouldn't be proud of that." It's so good. Y'all need to watch this new Open Gym episode. If anything, if you weren't familiar with the Bargnani Bosch era, this will very much educate you on some stuff. You see Matt Bonner running around in the episode, of course, on that team that at that point. He has a lot of great stories. I'm sure that he can share on the Raptors show and also on the Raptors broadcast on Sportsnet when he's sitting with Sherm and Brad Fay. But yeah, a great episode. And they really went over the international flavor of the Raptors and showed a lot of international players that played for us over time. DeMar chipping in and saying, yeah, it was fun playing early in Toronto because I got to play with people like Bellinelli and Hedo Turkoglu, you know? And then they teased, and this is the fantastic thing. I thought we'd already done this episode, but we're going to go back and revisit it some more. Why not? The bromance between Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan will be the next episode of Open Gym, and I am so here for it. I can't get enough of DeRozan and Lowry. I'm sorry. This is going to be fun. For a Raptors fan, this is the good stuff for sure. And yeah, Open Gym, you're killing it. It's like this season, I can tell, is like a mini history year where we're going over our history in our 30th year, and you guys are chronicling it and teaching the younger generations the history of our team and our traditions. That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. I love that episode so much. So much. And it's such a treat to hear and see the great Andrea Bargnani. And, Darko's right. Darko was interspersed in this episode as the current and talking about, I love how Darko said this, the Toronto Raptors will always be an international team. Yeah, you're right. And anybody who's like, we don't need a foreign coach, listen to us. We are like that. This is how we are. And in some ways, it's a strength. And y'all should be stopped discounting people just because they're not American and coming from down there. Yeah, seriously. The world is very talented and catching up to the NBA every single day. And that's what we need to realize and stuff like that. And they're exactly right. Bargnani would flourish in today's NBA game. He could very well have been like a whole all-star, and just like this game today fits his game so much. Oh my gosh. He was like, if he's a time traveler, he came 10 years too early in some ways for his career. He should have came sooner. I mean, it came later, honestly. Yeah. G saying it's officially Toronto Tempo. Blue and red are the colors, which I like, but the logo looks like a Pacers logo. Yeah, saying that too. The logo with the little lines off of it looks a little bit like the Pacers logo. You're saying that the colors are blue and red, though? I've seen purple in the stuff that I've seen so far. A wine purple is the color I've seen, but I haven't seen any of the. It could be that you're seeing something that's more official. Yeah, wine purple is the color I'm seeing, and that may be a little too close. Like the Valkyries have chosen lavender purple. It's a very much a lavender lilac kind of purple, and this one is more like a wine purple, at least in the ads that I've seen so far. But if you've seen something with different color scheme, I want to see that too, G. I want to see that too. I want to find it. Nako's saying, keep Jacoby with the starters. Davion does real good off the bench. Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, it may depend on what goes on with this 905 shuffling around. If they're going to start Jacoby in the morning and all the rookies in the morning, maybe they'll be like, yeah, we just want them to come off the bench in the evening. It could very well be that Grady's back all of a sudden and he's starting, and all the rookies are just in the spot rotation, coming off the bench and not playing huge minutes because they're probably going to play huge minutes this morning. So we got to think about that, Nako. They're going to be doing some load management between the 9:05 game at 11, which is in an hour from now. We need to get done. And the game tonight, they'll be available for both. So double duties in the cards for Jacoby Walter today. That may mean that he's not starting later, though. We'll have to see. I agree with you. I think Davion does do really well off the bench because it's like he comes in and they sick him on the other team, and it's a whole other level of intensity on the defense for us against the other team. So I kind of agree with you with that. In some ways, I want Gray to get healthy and just come back and start tonight. If not, Jacoby could start too. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how they handle the two games today. Monique saying, gee, it will have to grow on me. I don't know. I don't like it. Toronto Triumph forever. Yeah, I feel like it's boring. I even feel like Toronto Triumph is more character to it than Toronto Tempo. I don't know. Tempo's weird, man. Why did you do this, y'all? Y'all spent so much time thinking about this and took so much information from everybody. You had so many names, and this is the best one you came up with? Seriously? Oh, man. I mean, we got to remember this. In the 94, 95, when they announced the Raptors name, there was a similar kind of like, what the fuck is this kind of thing? Seriously. There was. The Raptors name was not popular right away. Everybody was kind of like, okay, this is strange and weird. But I mean, at least it was unique and never like had been heard before. In some ways, the term tempo is so generic. And like I said, I feel like it's like a generic team name for like a video game when you're going to play a generic team from Toronto. Oh, you're going to play the New York Netters and the Toronto Tempo and the Chicago I don't know, Chimras or something like that, just because I don't know. In some ways, the alliteration's fine, but what the fuck is the motif here, Teresa Resch? What is the motif for Tempo? The name Tempo. What is the motif? Like, what is the mascot? What does the mascot look like? Is it a pendulum? Is it like a metronome? Is it a metronome? Is that what our mascot is? We're going to have somebody coming out here like wagging something. Oh, that may not look good. Let's just put it that way. That may not look right. Nako saying, okay, I read that one already. Kaz is here. Good morning, Trucker Kaz. It's Thursday, so he's on the road again. Good morning, everyone. Let's go, Raptors. 10-4, good buddy. That's right. G saying, I hear you, Mo. They have some nice explanations for tempo, paraphrasing Teresa, pace of game, and it's about control. And as Canadians, we are playing our game and defining it through control. Man, that doesn't sound like very good case for justifying the name. Like, she really did make it sound like this is going to really, really tie in with Canada. Like, this is going to have a very Canadiana kind of tie in with our country. This does not have that. There's nothing that is proprietary or directly linked to Canadian culture in the word tempo. There just isn't. She can bullshit any kind of reasoning why it's this. It's because of the control we're playing and as Canadians. That don't make no sense, G. You know it doesn't. I love you, G. You're awesome. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. In some ways, they made a big deal out of it. It was going to be Canadian related, but it's not. This is not Canadian related. I'm sorry. It's not. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Game day. That's right. Let's get it, Coach. Let's go, Coach Cool Cat. We're going to be playing our guy, SGA, and his buddy, Lou Dort. Always fun to see our Team Canada guys. Yeah, let's go beat them. Let's beat them tonight. That's right. Let's beat SGA. That's right. Fiercey's here too. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. I like Oklahoma City a lot, but my Raps will always be numero uno for me. So let's go. There you go. That's right. Her allegiance is strong. And number one, Raptor Freak, MJ. Of course, she's going to be going for the Raptors first, but the Thunder are a team that she has affinity for still. And there's nothing wrong with that. But hey, priority is Raptors. And that's who she's rooting for tonight. That's right. Seymour saying they slipped up and let out tempo. Yeah, no. This got broke on our stream yesterday, Seymour. Somebody came in here and said the name is Toronto Tempo. And it's like, this isn't official yet, but this may be what it is. Well, somebody leaked it by accident. And, well, Teresa's got to come clean and say, yeah, this is the name of our Toronto WNBA team. And I'm like, oh, yeah, they slipped up. In some ways, this is not when they wanted to release it. We know this because they said in January. But the WNBA screwed them up. I hope that the WNBA is not already trying to fuck over the Toronto team by screwing up their release date and doing stuff like this. In some ways, a lot of what's happened with the WNBA team with Toronto has been screwed up already. Whether it's the fact that we're not in the expansion draft that's coming up right now because we got put back because of Ed Rogers and MLSE, whether it's the leak of our team name. A lot of stuff is not going well so far with the WNBA franchise so far. I hate this in some ways. And in some ways, I wish that its name was more, wow, that's fantastic to me. It's not. It's not. It's very humdrum. It's very boring. Let's just put it that way. It's very boring. Fiercely saying Lakers being big time routed by the Heat yesterday. 41-point blowout. Laugh out loud. I love it. I love it, Eye Candy. I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it too because honestly, we see Miami twice recently and we showed them. We kicked their ass and we played them really well. And meanwhile, they're routing the Lakers later this week. That's fantastic. Yeah, Lakers are in disarray. Some people are saying that LeBron getting off social media has hurt his game since. And that in some ways, he needs to get back on social media is what they're telling him. He won't go back to Twitter because Twitter, and I understand why you won't go back to Twitter. I won't either. And so some people are telling him, go to Blue Skies, LeBron. Go to Blue Skies, and maybe you can be on social media still. And Laker fans are desperate. They're like, you need to do this, LeBron, for our season. Oh, Lakers coming back down to earth. Oh, my gosh. Cool Cat saying Toronto Tempo. I don't mind the action name. We're going to bring the tempo on the court. It's action-oriented. I can deal with it. It's just new. It's just, in some ways we've been anticipating this and really wanting to know what it is. And we're like, oh, come on. We're waited. And it's kind of a letdown. It's kind of like, this is what we're waiting for? Really? I mean, that's part of it right there. I think it'll grow on a lot of people. But I'm going to say this right now. This is not an attractive name to get a big following. In some ways, y'all are relegating yourself into being a generic team that's just not going to be a top team in the WNBA or a team that general NBA or general sports fan in Toronto is going to get into. In some ways, this name could doom the team because it's just so generic and boring that people are just like, yeah, I don't even know what that is. Toronto Tempo? We have a WNBA team? It could very well backfire because this name is too general and too boring. You really need to distinguish yourself. And this is not a name that distinguishes us. I'm going to say that right now. Unless they have a whole package to it, reasoning, and they show really cool stuff around the name, then it can be salvaged. But right now, this is not a good name because this is not going to be attractive to kids. What? Toronto Tempo? Like, these little kids are going to get into it. Like, seriously, that's part of the reason why we were successful with the Raptors is because the Raptors was very, very attractive to little kids. And this name is boring. In some ways, this name is not a grabber, attention grabber. In some ways, this is a name that fades in the background and people will dismiss. That's what I'm worried about, Cool Cat. I know it'll grow on us because we're diehards and we're going to love this team no matter what. But I don't think it's going to be very good for it success-wise overall with like getting a lot of fan base because it's just too generic and not exciting. Let's just put it that way. It sucks. We'll be fine because we're big fans. We're going to watch it no matter what. They're not worried about us. They should be worried about general fans and trying to get them involved. And this name does not catch people. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. Fiercely saying, I guess they had to put the communication out this morning due to the slip, but I'm good with Tempo. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it too, but I'm trying to look at it in general, and I'm looking at the reaction online too, and I'm very serious. I don't think this is a good name for building a big fan base. I really don't. I think it is very, very boring. I'm okay with the alliteration. If they're going to have some, the reasoning behind it be that's fine with me too, but it's not wowing. It's not shaking like people to come and say, I want to go to this game because of this team. And in some ways, that's part of the problem. They got to market this team. And how the hell do you market this name? If they're going to use a lot of AI to market this team, they're not going to be successful. They've already used a lot of AI to market this team, and they didn't even have a name, and it was turning people off already. So there's a lot of mistakes that are being made with this WNBA team right now, and I think this name might be one in the long run. I hate to say that. I'm just being honest and telling how I feel. I can see this happening. And it's not that I want to doom this team or anything. I'm just saying this name is a dud in some ways. That doesn't hit on certain ways. It's fine for people like us. They're diehards. We're going to watch them, and we love this team anyway. They could name it the Toronto Trash Piles, and we'd still watch it. But casual fans, people that are just general sports fans, they're not going to be into this because this name is boring as fuck, is what I'm saying. It's not attractive. Let's see. Fiercely saying not temporary. That's right. Kaz is saying, how is Tempo better than Triumph? It isn't. It isn't. I think that it is true, though, that the IP for Triumph, it was not available, and they could not get that name to be allowed. They may have tried, honestly. They could have very well tried to get Toronto Triumph, but they couldn't get it. And maybe in some ways they thought that, well, this is somewhere near it in some ways. Who knows? Who knows? It beat Slappers, Toronto Slappers. Oh, that's funny. Most saying, I'm with you, Lex, on the name, shaking my head. It's just that we had such anticipation, and it's kind of not, it's a letdown. It's a letdown is what I'm saying right now. Fiercely saying, I'm a musical person. I like Tempo, but I can understand the concerns in respect to how it meshes with the culture and diversity of Canada, Toronto, etc. Hopefully it will grow on people. This could be redeemable in this, and this is the way, Teresa Resch, and maybe you already thought of this, and maybe this is what you're going. The way you can do this is if you tie it into the culture of our great Jamaican community here in Toronto. We have a huge abundance of Jamaican people here in Toronto. I know a lot of people from Jamaica that I've worked with in the past. They're wonderful people. And there's a vibrant reggae scene in downtown Toronto. You got the Real Jerk. You got Rasta Pasta. You got great Jamaican food restaurants downtown. And there's a great culture and great Jamaican people around this city. If you make it have a reggae vibe, maybe you'll be all right. Seriously, maybe you'll be all right. And maybe you're able to connect it culturally to our city in a real, tangible way. But this may be the only way. Don't fucking tell me the tempo is clubs like Crocodile Rock and fucking Limelight and that bullshit down there, the clubs in the entertainment district. No, the tempo needs to be a reggae tempo. And it needs to be from, that culture of that part of our history in our city. The part that celebrates patties at the subway stations out in Scarborough. That kind of stuff. That's the only way you can salvage this, honestly. If his tempo is going to be just dribble the ball tempo or tempo of the game, no, you need to ensconce the musical part of the word tempo, and you better start claiming this is the genre we're all about, and this is what we're looking at in Toronto, because that's the only way I could see you making a linkage to Canadian heritage or history or our city is by what I just described. And you may have to have like reggae music playing at the games quite often. Seriously. And in some ways, I don't know if that was the winning formula, is what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Let's see. It will grow on people. It'll grow on people. In some ways, like you don't want to jerk it around. In some ways, you only get one shot on these. If you name a team like Scepters and everybody's like, yeah, that's colonialist British bullshit, and I hate it. Well, we're stuck with it. I'm sorry. We're just going to continue to celebrate white colonialism with the Toronto Scepters of the Professional Women's Hockey League. Well, that's kind of worse than tempo, to be honest. At least the name is better than the Toronto Scepters. Let's just put it that way. Scepters even sound like something that a gynecologist uses for women. Like, I don't even know why they named that Scepters. Like, y'all are queens or something like that. Okay, go ahead and keep kissing the ass of the British monarchy and their bullshit ways here in Canada. You know, fuck that shit. I say we get away from that. Why are we in? Oh, it's hockey. Okay, yeah, I get it. It's a centrally white kind of sport. And in some ways, they want to keep celebrating, white power over this continent and indigenous people by naming their team Toronto Scepters. Really dumb oversight, honestly. It's not, at least not that bad. Now, Toronto Tempo, there's something to it. But in some ways, you know what? Maybe they joke and they say, yeah, Toronto Temporary. And this is the real name, guys. I hope. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Slappers. You want Toronto Slappers? That's an interesting name. That's a little weird. Let's see. Fiercely saying in other good news, the NBA, Sixers lost again, in case you care. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really paying attention to them that close. But yeah, that's nice to hear. I like that. Cool Cat saying the launch would have been splashy and branding with tempo. WNBA forced the unplanned announcement. This is terrible. We needed a Golden State type release and announcement. Yeah, this is a problem. This is very much a problem because, they were wanting to get the gear ready for it too, I'm sure, and have a big release. This is very, very terrible. I wonder if the WNBA did screw us over on purpose doing this. Maybe there's somebody in the WNBA that hates Toronto getting a team, and they're like, I'm going to screw them up. I'm going to release their name of their team on our website. So whoever's in the WNBA that put that up needs to be fired, honestly, because they're hurting their league. Like, even if they did a dumb mistake, you should have fucking known better. Anybody who knew what that name was, they should have been keeping it proprietary. And the fact that they leaked it like that in a dumbass way, y'all need to understand, today's world is so hard to hide shit like this. Everybody's online. Everybody's looking. They're voracious. They want to know this. In some ways, y'all should have maybe been more prepared to release a name immediately as soon as you came up with it, because in some ways, people were going to not relent until they found out what the name of the team was. I think this is a big mistake, Cool Cat. And once again, this is showing just how bad things are going for the WNBA team. And we're not even anywhere near anything because the name release has been screwed up. Our bid to get in the league was screwed up. There's all kinds of stuff that's been screwed up with this so far. And hopefully we get all through it and we have a badass team no matter what. But still, I hate this because this is not going the way it should have gone or how it should have been planned. In some ways, Larry Tenenbaum is not probably happy about any of this either. I'm telling you. Seymour saying, where can I find the classic card points leader list? Well, David he's not putting the full trivia standings in the chat, in the comments. He posted them yesterday. You can look at it. He's only got the top 5. It's annoying. I wish he would post the whole thing. It's fine, though. In some ways, he's kind of helping me right now. He comes back around and adds it up. I can't tell you for sure. I mean, I can go look at it. Let me see. In some ways, we need the full standings, David, every once in a while. You can't just put the top 5 over and over again. Seymour, I'll look at it myself. It's not for public eyes. You're in 9th right now. You're 1,775 cumulative points in the trivia right now. And Smooth's at the top with 6,825. So he's like got a wide lead on Kareem at this point. But David has not posted the full standings in like 2 or 3 months now. So David, put the whole standings up just so everybody can see where they're at, so that everybody can see. That's right. Cool Cat saying, I think tempo can work in the long term. You market with the current tempo of the city, country as needed, vibes with dance music, food, weather, activities, slang. It'll be fine. I don't know. In some ways, this isn't like the Raptors. The Raptors were weird because they sounded weird, but they had promise because they were weird, and you could flesh a whole world out with them. This is limited. In some ways, you're saying this, but what are you talking about? Are we making ads for an insurance company? Are we making ads for just a general dumbass corporate company? No, we wanted a basketball team that is supposed to be appealing to young people. And Toronto Tempo is not appealing to young people. This is boring as fuck. And this is, I mean, they can flesh it out and try and make this work, but it's a bad first step. It's a bad name, honestly. It's not good for marketing. And I can like it personally. You can like it personally, but it's not a good name. Let's just put it down that way, because it's not good for marketing. It's not good for children. And that may have been the most important group that they needed to catch with this. And putting the name Toronto Tempo is just boring as fuck. And no matter what they put around it, if they put fake ass shit like these AI images they were doing it's not going to get anybody. It's not going to grab anyone. Everybody's going to be like, oh, okay, Toronto Tempo, great. They're not going to get into it. Trust me. And that sucks, because we may lose this team before we even have it. They may be like, yeah, this is not financially working. And they may close the Toronto WNBA team within like 3 years of it, because they just didn't fucking name the team right and nobody came to the games. This is a big problem, seriously. And oh my gosh. Anyway, on to other things. Monique is saying Giants of Africa night tonight at the game. That's right. Tonight is the Giants of Africa game. We're going to celebrate Dikembe Mutombo heavily tonight. And yeah, it's going to be cool to have our Team Canada guys, SGA and Lou Dort, there for this fantastic game. It's always a great game every year that we celebrate. And yeah, it's going to be fun. And Monique will be down there for Giants of Africa. That's fantastic. I love it. Fiercely saying we are currently at the stage OKC was at a few years ago. It will be interesting to see the matchup tonight. You know, what I want to see is, because in some ways you think that they're at the stage where they were a couple of years ago. I don't know. I mean, I get it. Okay, OKC has more playoff experience just from last year, but they don't have a whole lot of playoff experience in some ways as a group because they're so young. In some ways, they mirror us in a lot of ways. They're learning how to win. In some ways, they have way more practice and a higher level of trying to win with SGA. But let's not get it twisted. In some ways, RJ knows a lot of that stuff too, and Scotty too. So I don't know. This will be very interesting. 2 young cores going against each other. By all looking outside, it does seem like Oklahoma City has the advantage with veteran of Guile on this, but not really, because they're a very young cohort overall too. I mean, they have Hartenstein and Caruso added this year for a little bit more veteran bent, but I don't know. This will be a lot of fun. And it'll be a great gauge for us, for sure. A great gauge for us, Fiercey. Seymour saying, I'm too African for this cold. It's crazy. Laugh out loud. Guess I'm born here and it hits different. Yeah. And my people's Jamaicans, same difference. You know, in some ways, it's like everybody has different, you know, proclivities of like being able to handle temperatures. Some people really enjoy the winter and 4 seasons like I do. And some people just want to get the hell away from it. And it's a problem every year. And this is why they become snowbirds. So, I mean, it is what it is. It could very well be that, you know, Shamshay never, ever dealt with a cold temperature like he's dealing with this week in Toronto right now. That in Africa, he never, ever had the temperature be this low where he's from in Cameroon. And this may be the very first time he's ever felt cold weather like this in his life. In fact, him being sick right now shows that he probably did not take care of himself correctly with the winter here in Canada. And that's why he's sick. It could very well be he's sick. And that's why he's saying what he's saying right there. Yeah, I'm too African for this cold is crazy. I know. I know. Happy birthday to Trevor. Wishing you many more. That's right. And Jimmy's saying, go Raptors. That's right, Jimmy. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Popa Positivity. Let's get 8 wins in the season tonight by beating the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, here's an interesting little tidbit about today. We're playing the next 3 games against 3 teams that are going to Vegas for the NBA Cup finals, the quarterfinals. Yeah, we're playing Oklahoma City, who punched their ticket, and they are going to play in the NBA Cup still. And then on Saturday, we're going to play the Mavericks, who are going also. They're, in fact, playing the Thunder in the NBA Cup. And then we're playing New York on Monday. And they are also punched the ticket to Vegas to play in the NBA Cup quarterfinals also. So the next 3 opponents are all teams that are going to Vegas and are still involved in the Emiratis NBA Cup. Yeah, Emiratis or whatever, Ratties, they're rats. Let's see, Cool Cat saying, one problem with Toronto Tempo, we can be nicknamed TTs, especially as a female team. Didn't think about body parts with this name. Yikes. The TTs? Like the titties? I mean, I don't think that that's as big a deal as it just being so fucking generic and boring in some ways. They really need a strong mascot. They're going to need a mascot that has some sort of fun to them. And I'm sure they have something in mind already and developed, but this could save them a little bit too in some ways. I have to see this whole thing fleshed out. If you have a crazy ass mascot that's off the wall and is appealing to kids and is kind of like very interesting, this could save this name. I'm going to say this right now, Teresa Resch. You need a very good mascot for this name. I'm sorry. This name does not entice or attract people to this team. It does not. And in some ways, you're going to need a mascot that's so crazy and goofy that the young kids are going to want to watch it. I'm telling you, it's crazy. And in some ways, a mascot is not the best thing to get attracting people. It's supposed to be an add-on and extra to keep them there. The name is supposed to bring them in, but I don't see people coming in because his name is sad because it's just too generic. Kareem saying, what a boost of morale if the Raptors pull this one off tonight. Also, Scotty's last presser about togetherness of the team was the most sincere, mature, vulnerable I've ever heard. Darko's magic. Yeah, Scotty is totally different at this point with how he sees this team, and he's bought in. We can think about the times watching him play in Twitch with his friends on 2K and just how often he was like looking for good players to play with. It matters to him to have good teammates that are successful in making shots so he gets assists and just helpful for him to get towards winning. In some ways, this is why he loves guys like RJ and Jakob, because they are helping him win in the NBA in his show, his team. He's the franchise face. And in some ways, he's all about that. So he wants competent players on the team with him. And as he said in the last press conference, he says, I'm really happy with this team because this team is doing the things to help us win. They're dogs. I love these guys. And he's talking about his rookies. They asked him, Scotty, how'd you feel playing out there with 4 rookies and you out there? Oh, it's fun. Those guys are my dogs. And they're getting after it and they're doing it. And I'm really proud of them for what we're doing. And he did talk a little bit about how the rookies are so ready to play in the NBA, why it's like that. And he's very happy about that. Yeah, Scotty's in a new place. This is definitely a new Scotty. And you know what? He's been excited. In some ways, he's at that point where, if you're in your job and you got a project that you're kind of really into and you're like, I'm excited about doing this project because it's going to be so fulfilling. That's where Scott is right now. In some ways, a lot of the confusion of last year and the transition from the era of Nick and everybody before to now is over. And now Scott can really own what's happening right now as the center of it all. And he's relishing it. Because once again, Masai and Bobby did a fantastic job putting people around him, and Darko is exactly the right coach to be involved helping him too. So it's a really, really good scene. And I see what you see also, Kareem, with Scotty Barnes. Yeah, Monique saying the bromance between Kyle and DeMar on next week of open episode of Open Gym. Yeah, it may not be next week. They've been bringing them out like every couple of weeks, maybe even a month from now. I don't know. We'll see how quickly they get it out. I mean, I thought that they had this episode already. Haven't we seen a Kyle and DeMar
Open Gym episode like a couple times already. I mean, the whole early seasons of Open Gym were just centered around Colin DeMar being our main players. And then I'm pretty sure there was a Colin DeMar celebration episode since they left, like on Open Gym. Either way, it's hilarious to see these guys next time on Open Gym because they've admitted very recently that they didn't stop watching Open Gym, even though they played for other teams for a lot of years now. DeMar has not been on our team for over 5 years, and Kyle has not been on our team for a few years either. They still are avid watchers of the Open Gym series, and they love watching it. They're watching the young guys. They're not even on these episodes. They're not teammates. They're still watching Open Gym because they just like the show, and it helps them keep tabs on what's going on with their former team, the Raptors. So yeah, they're awesome, man. I'm so looking forward to this. Anytime you want to celebrate Colin DeMar, I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. Yeah, Kareem saying apparently they threw a bait to us fans trying to gauge what we thought about the team name, Tempo. I'm pretty sure the name won't stick. Triumph is still possible, y'all. Is that what you're hearing now? That she kind of did a test tease on this name and that maybe that is part of the joke that Tempo is temporary? This is a pretty interesting strategy if they did do this. Like if they put out this generic name that's kind of and then they come out with something and it may be like it's such a better name. Everybody's like, yes, this is awesome. And that's the strategy all along. Oh, yeah, we're just fooling y'all. It's not Toronto Tempo. It is Temporary. And this is the real name. And this is it. And everybody's like, yeah, it is awesome. Maybe that is what's happening. I don't know. Let's see. Kareem saying, I didn't want to say anything, but my grandmother passed away 2 days ago at 4:30 a.m. Only reason I'm mentioning this is because the viewing is on Sunday and is likely I won't be able to make it to the 9:05. Oh, man, Kareem, I hate hearing that, man. I really hate hearing that. I completely understand, and my sincere condolences. And as you agree, man, we're here for you. I know you can come in the stream and kind of get away from things in your mind if you want to. But that's too bad, man. I was looking forward to seeing you on Sunday, but I completely understand, obviously. And I just wish your family my sympathies and condolences in your time of grief right now, man. I hate hearing this. Yeah, David saying condolences too. There's trivia champion and Commissioner David Saborn in the chat. It is you, David. Seymour wants to see the whole standings, David. Let's see. Seymour saying, sorry for your loss. Yeah, that's it. I hate hearing that, man. Condolences from Mo too. And Smooth saying, Kareem, Thomas, I'm so sorry, man. Yeah, me too, man. I hate hearing this. Yeah. Seymour saying I dropped it in the chat. Let's see. Kareem saying thank you guys in advance for all the sympathy. I don't really do well with death, but she lived a long 92 years, and she does not have to deal with the pain or cancer taking over her body. Man, I can be good at words of solace sometimes, and I'll try. I'm going to attempt here. That is something to really key on. If you knew that she was in pain, sometimes the release of the pain is the best thing. And that is part of it. And your belief and what you believe, she's going to be in a better place. And yeah, man, I'm just sorry to hear it, man. I really am. 92, a full life. Yes, no more pain. Exactly, right there. A strong woman, 92 years old. Wow, may God bless her. Yep, she'll be received very, very well, I'm sure. And, be reunited with all her loved ones that have already gone too. The ones that you love too, Kareem. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Ah, man, you guys. All right, let's see. Randolph saying, game day blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. You can lighten the weight of others by just doing your part. Today, you are uniquely positioned to make a positive impact. I appreciate that, Randolph. And I agree. Everybody has their sphere of influence. And maybe mine is a bit this channel, but you interact with people every day. So make that interaction and that energy you share with those people something positive and something healing and something good in this world. Too often there's little micro interactions between people and they're just nasty or ugly or just people are in bad moods and they're not very polite. Well, let's control what we can control, and that's what we do. And let's put out more sunshine and love and happiness and positivity in this world. Sometimes it's just telling somebody that you recognize that they're doing a good job. Sometimes it's just making a compliment for somebody on something they're wearing that you think is cool. There's all kinds of ways we can pick things up and make things a little bit more brighter in this world. And that's something we can do. Thank you, Randolph, for your words of wisdom. Thank you, Leo, for your life tips. Thank you, Randolph. And Trevor, happy birthday. Thank you guys for all you guys do on this channel. Blessings to the Phillips family, all the families, the Thomas family, especially today. That's right. Seymour said, I'm not surprised that this happened to our women's team rep in the North. This fix is in early. Damn, Smooth, run away with trivia. Yeah, he is. He very much is. And I'm going to put the card up in a second. We'll get the card up very, very soon. We got half an hour till 9:05. We're going to tip off. So you know what? Maybe I'll do it right this second. 10:16 is where I'm at. Really give me a cutoff, guys, because we're going to be done soon. All right, here we go. Here's the classic card of the day, and this makes sense for today. All right, who is this, guys? Classic card of the day. Who is that on the classic card today? Get the classic card points for naming this classic card. Who is that? Now, you may know from that number and that jersey. That's a very famous number and stuff like that on this card. Does anybody have any idea? Do I need to bring it closer? Is that going to help in any kind of way? It looks like it's Harvey Grant behind him. There we go. Smooth is on top of this, of course. It is our great Canadian Rick Fox on the Celtics. Of course, there he is, the smiling guy. He used to be married to Vanessa Williams, guys. You know that? This guy was married to Miss USA, Vanessa Williams. This dude had a good life, man. Rick Fox had movie star looks, and he was a good basketball player. There you go, man. But yeah, all right, we're going to give 100 points to Smooth for that one. David, you want to be there and put it in, or I'll do it real quick? Let me see. Let's see. Rick Fox. Smooth once again, and we'll just put in 100. It's just 100. It's not a super great card. It's not that hard. That's right. That's right. Let's see. All right, we're back to the chat. Here we go. Fiercey saying, circle of life, crazy. 2 different occasions, but sending you positive vibes. My sincere condolences, Kareem Thomas, and also happy birthday to Trevor J. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. All right, Randolph saying, Lex, we must never join the haters who will never accept us getting a WNBA team and putting the team's name down. The organization put a lot into choosing this name. The name works. Let's get behind it. I'm going to. You know what it is, Randolph? I have to give my real, honest, authentic reaction. In some ways, I don't want to just be kind of like, not truly authentic to how I feel about it. And I'm expressing completely no filter on it. In some ways, that's probably more helpful to Teresa Resch and Kilmer Group as far as what they're doing with the team than me just being like, oh, I love it. It's great. I'm worried, seriously. And in some ways, I'm already kind of trying to help them strategize how to get this more appealing because they really do need to do more work. The name's not going to carry them. It's not. They're going to have to do things around it. They're going to have to flesh out the meaning of it so that it'll be way more attractive to sell tickets. That's the problem. I've seen a lot of, there's a lot of sports teams that come out. There's a lot of different levels of leagues. The CBL has a lot of teams and they have to be named certain things to be kind of attractive for people to come. And most of the CBL teams are pretty good for their names, In some ways, I'm saying, I'm not trying to put it down. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just being honest is what I'm saying right now. I'm going to support the hell out of this team, and it doesn't really matter what the name of the team is. I'm going to cover it and support it. But I am a little worried because, in some ways, this is important. Just like with the Raptors, you don't do this right, you lose your team down the road because it doesn't stay like the Vancouver Grizzlies. And that's what I'm worried about. The WNBA is not like the NBA. It is in trouble sometimes financially. Now, it's going into a new period where it looks like it's going to be doing a lot better. But in some ways, if this WNBA franchise in Toronto does not succeed, we could lose it. Let's just put it that way. And I don't want to do that. And I feel like the name is one of the most important things to give it strength to sustain itself, much like the Toronto Raptors with that name of that. And in some ways, I just hope that it does well. Yeah. Cool Cat saying Tempo is a tough name because if we have years of losing, to be safe, we should have either chose an animal native to the city or a country that kids can get with or futuristic for aspirations. Yeah, I want to see, is there going to be an animal mascot? What is the mascot going to look like? In some ways, this could be very helpful. I've given a couple of suggestions for what can save this name as far as getting it more enticing and appealing. In some ways, if you're going to name the team Tempo, you better be making it like a club in there where it's going to have high up tempo beat and there's going to be like a pulse to it where people are going to come in and feel energy. In some ways, that may have to be your calling card. You got to build a world. You got to build a culture. You got to build an idea of what this thing is. And in some ways, this is not a good first step because this is just a general term for tempo. I mean, I know there's tempo in basketball games. You want to control the tempo. A point guard can control the tempo, like Fred VanVleet or Kyle Lowry. I get that. I get that tie-in. But once again, I'm still mystified to the connection to our national identity. I really, really am mystified because they did say it was going to be that. They did say that. That's right. Seymour saying the name releasing early feels like tariffs tax. Yeah, it could very well be. Once again, the Canadian tariffs tax bullshit. Like, I hate it. It's not in the best interest of the WNBA because they're just going to lose money. In some ways, it's indicative of the WNBA being poorly run. We know that the WNBA is not exactly ran exactly right in some ways. They fumbled and messed up stuff in different ways. And I hope that this is just not indicative of them fumbling with the expansion team for our country. I really hope that's not it because they have fumbled some stuff and messed up. Like the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese stuff this year was totally fumbled. Totally fumbled. And it's from, there's probably people that have been lifer WNBA people in the organization that absolutely need to go because they're holding on to their positions and they're tough and they're this and that, but they're part of the problem. And they're part of the reason why the league is being held back from being more successful. So it could be there's some WNBA traditionalists. They've been there since the very beginning with the Houston Comets and the Phoenix Mercury and the New York Liberty. But they may be holding it back because they're still around being power players in the middle of it when they should fucking move on, honestly. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. It's weird. All right, I got to get going. Mischief saying at Kareem Thomas, sorry to hear that. Stay strong, Kareem. Happy 22nd birthday, Trevor J. Happy 22nd birthday, Trevor. That's how old he turned. That's amazing. I didn't know that. Cool Cat saying Scotty will be happy because it's his team and it will feed his Leo ego. Leos are alpha males and like to be in charge, so he's in his happy place. Yeah. And the guy that's talented as him, he should get his own team, and I'm glad it's ours in some ways. Look, I may have wanted him to transition to being the superstar of our team with other guys, vets around him like Siakam and Van Vliet more. But I guess in some ways it's just the natural turnover to get this point. In some ways, it's better to have older guys kind of taking you under your wing and you develop and get to that point. Everybody had that. Kobe was like that with the Lakers. Shaq was there kind of taking him under his wing and bringing him up. It's not like Kobe just came in and in some ways he could have been like, oh, this is my team already because but he wasn't that level yet. So everything in all is a good time. And yes, it's true about Scott being a Leo. And this what you're saying right here is totally true. Mischief saying, I want to see the Grady Dick versus Case and Wallace matchup today. Bruce Brown is off the injury list from what I see. Really? Are you sure? All right, let me check it again because honestly, I can check it up by the minute. And let's see. Yeah, he's still there. He's still out. Unfortunately, you're not right, Mischief. He is still out. Bruce Brown is still on the injury list. Unless there's something you saw that I didn't. That may be true. Carlos saying condolences to you and your family, Kareem. Thank you, Carlo, for your condolences to him. And Bryce is saying rest in peace to Granny Thomas. You and your family will be in my prayers. Thank you, Bryce Lawson. Very, very kind Raptor Freaks showing very, 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 very supportive stuff towards Kareem in his time of need right now. Very, very nice. Randolph saying, Kareem, please accept our sincere condolences. The Lord has released her from all sufferings. Cherish the memories and believe that she's in a better place. Be strong. There you go. That's a great message right there. And Fierce is saying, gotta go, fam. Take care and enjoy the game later. And Mike's saying tempo could be just a short form temporary. I'm hoping maybe it's a red herring. We'll see. In some ways, I'm okay with whatever. We just need to support this team, and hopefully other people want to support it too. That's the thing I'm worried about the most is they got to get support from a lot of different people for this thing to be successful. And if it's just not like that, it is what it is. All right, here's our injury list on the home stretch right now. Grady Dick is questionable. Ulrich Shamshay is out because he's ill. Actually, he's day-to-day. DJ Carton's day-to-day due to his ankle. Kelly Olynyk is out due to his back still, but he's ramping up things to his conditioning to come back soon. Same thing with Bruce Brown. He's out, but he's ramping up his conditioning. Emmanuel Quickly remains limited in practice still, but he is on his way back too. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, their injuries are as such. Jalen Williams with a Y, the second best Jalen Williams on their team, is out with a hamstring injury. Alex Dukas is out. Ousmane Dieng is out. Of course, Chet Holmgren fractured his hip. and he is out. And Nikola Topic is still recovering from an ACL procedure that he had at the beginning of the season. The referees for today's G League game, which is starting in 20 minutes, guys, down at Scotiabank Arena, Reggie Perry and the Greensboro Swarm playing the 905 in a school day game down in our main arena. Sarah Williams is the crew chief. Jafar Kinsey is the referee, and Lars Murray is the umpire. For the Raptors game tonight at 7:30, Oklahoma City Thunder, Curtis Blair is the crew chief. Trey Maddox is the referee, and Nate Green is the umpire. Curtis and Trey favor the Thunder, and Nate Green favors the Raptors. But all three refs are very friendly refs to the Raptors normally, just so y'all know. That's right. And as I said earlier, Blake Murphy reporting that our rookies will be playing at 11. So you might want to tune in less than a half an hour to see Jonathan Mobo, Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed, and Jamison Battle all available for 905 today. And hopefully that'll be a big boon for Andrew Jones to help his team get a win today against the Greensboro Swarm. So we'll have to see if that matters. Seriously. All right, let's see. NBA has a new ranking. ESPN has a new ranking about the lottery teams, and they're kind of projecting for the lottery. And they're saying the Raptors are number 6 now, 7 through 15. Their chance of the number 1 pick right now is 8.8%. Their chance of the top 5 pick is 38.2%. And why the Raptors are here, they got tired of the middle. It started when Toronto traded OG to New York and Pascal to Indiana in a 3-week span midway through last season. The Raptors then flipped veteran Dennis Schroeder for expiring contract of Spencer Dinwiddie, and the franchise has made a commitment to the young core, signing Emmanuel Quickley and Scotty Barnes to a combined $390 million this offseason. Quickley sustained a partial UCL tear in his elbow in early November and has played just 3 games this year. What we're watching for the rest of the season for the Raptors is Toronto has a chance to play itself out of this range if it can get its main pieces on the court. Sunday marked the 10th game Barnes has played this season. Still, this team is clearly hoping to land another high draft pick and will keep playing its young players such as Grady Dick and Jacoby Walter as the season progresses. That's Tim Bontemps writing that. So he's figuring that now we're number 6 on the tank rankings. The number 1 is Washington. Utah's number 2. Charlotte's number 3. New Orleans is number 4. Detroit's number 5. And we're number 6 now in the tank ratings. That's what it is. Tim Bontemps, once again, fuck you. Happy birthday to Trevor J. once again, guys. Get y'all's fantasy lineup set up and ready for the games tonight. And Monique has already posted the stream for the G League game in our Facebook chat. So maybe I'll see y'all in the Facebook chat. I mean, the YouTube chat for the Greensboro Swarm, Toronto Raptors or Raptors 905 game at 11 on YouTube. We'll be in there. So y'all check it out. All right. The name is Tempo right now. We'll see if it is still Tempo. It probably is. I think it is legitimately the name. And we'll just have to work with it. I've given some good brainstorming suggestions for how this could work, Teresa. I hope you're thinking what I'm saying. Maybe what you're doing, we'll have to see in some ways. I don't know. In some ways, it may have been man, I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't want to opine on it any longer. All right, about 15 minutes till game time. I'm going to go ahead and log off. I appreciate everybody watching today. The Raptor Free channel, previewing 2 games, one that's about to start right now. That's right. Jimmy saying, I know this isn't basketball related, but there's so much division in Canada right now. I just hope people remember what it is to be Canadian. A lot of people really want Canada to become part of the States. Yeah, that part of the problem is the MAGA people up here are brainwashed. And Trump said this week that he's thinking about wanting to make Canada the 51st state. It's absolute ridiculous, stupid shit. We got to understand this. There's a lot of things that are in the way of this happening, Jimmy. And as much as this wouldn't be like Quebec trying to secede as a province. The whole national country of Canada is sovereign. And in some ways, there's a lot of different things that are going on with our country that this will never happen. Trump can talk out of his ass and say stupid shit like this. And MAGA people could be like, oh, yeah, I want to be under Trump because they're crazy and they're bootlickers. And they just want to live that life under a totalitarian fascist. That they're saying this. But, Jimmy, don't listen to this because it's a small majority. It's not a small majority. It's a small minority. It's not very many people, and they may be being very vocal, and they may also be flooding social media places with their voices to make it seem like they're more important and more of them. I'm pretty sure the average Canadian is not interested in joining the United States, and that whatever way of doing this or going about this, our government system does not have a protocol for this to happen. So, I mean, look, there's always been division in different ways. And yes, the political ads on TV are not helping things. There's way too many dumbass PC ads that are just mudslinging and brainwashing. And in some ways, watching Survivor last night, seeing so many dumb ads, I was just like, this is why people are all screwed up, is because there's manipulation through the mainstream media of just coming in with all kinds of stupid content that's warping people's brains, like the idiot that keeps messaging me and saying, why you call me an idiot? I'll tell you why I call you an idiot, Bradley, because you're a fucking idiot, man. You're a fucking idiot. And I'll say it again. You want me to call you? I'll call you on the phone and tell you you're a fucking idiot, Bradley. Yeah, I'll call you to your face. Seriously, don't come bowing up to me and say, who you calling an idiot, Lex? I'm not afraid of you, Bradley. Fuck you, is what I'll say. All right, y'all. Yeah, in some ways, that is indicative right there, what I just said to Bradley, that we are divided, and it sucks. In some ways, we got to look out for each other. And part of the problem is one side is not nice and not for people. They want to hurt people. They want to come after trans people. They want to come after immigrants. They want to come after anybody who's not who they want around them. Well, that's an ugly, hateful side. And in some ways, I ain't got nothing to do with that side that idiot Bradley's on. And that's the side that wants us to join the United States, which is absolutely a stupid idea. And it's not going to happen. Trust me, it will not happen. There's too much stuff in like the world international places of other countries being involved that they wouldn't want this to happen. In some ways, the United States probably realistically does not want this to happen, other than dumbass Trump saying something out of his ass. So either way, let's not worry about this. We got a 9:05 game to watch right now. And, we just need to, you're right. We need to be proud Canadians, proud of our country, and stand together. And in some ways, stop letting the people of division keep stoking division between us with hate and fear. And I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. People are so disillusioned and brainwashed at this point. And the funny thing is, the people that are the problem are the ones brainwashing them, and they're brainwashing them to support them. And that's what I say. That whole MAGA side, the right wing, the PC party, they are brainwashing people to support the people that are actually subjugating them to all the high prices, the tariffs, and all the crazy shit that's happening with high prices. You want to be mad about prices? Well, go and support the people that are trying to bring prices down, and stop listening to the side that's lying to you and blaming the other side. The other side is lying straight up. They're the ones who stand for the 1%, the big corporations, the ones that are gouging us in prices every which way. In some ways, Jimmy, I wish you hadn't opened this door right now. I was almost out, and then you got me on a political tangent real quick. Jimmy's saying, just crazy that this is going on and being normalized. Anyways, have a good day. Go Raps, go 9:05. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not normalized. Let's not say that. It's just say that like there's a very, very extensive brainwashing going on in the MAGA cult. And sadly, people like Bradley have fallen into it. And, they're good people. I think they're good people. It's just they're stupid. Like, they are very dumb. Bradley has a low IQ. He's not a very intelligent person. He's a hardworking guy. He's a family man. But let's not get it twisted. This dude does not have a very high IQ, and he's easily manipulated and duped by people that key on some things, like maybe he's a mega bro at this point. He's like saying he's owning the libs, and that he's like, oh yeah, we got one over on them because Trump won, and just stupid shit like that. Like, he's very much being like the frat boy, really ugly kind of like misogynist kind of people right now. In some ways, yeah, it's all good, Jimmy. I love you, man. You're a pope of positivity. You're usually very positive, is what I'm saying. Kaz saying, what happened with Bradley, Lex? Isn't that Cowboy? Yeah, it's Cowboy. Fuck him. He's MAGA. And he threw it in my face after the election. He started coming in here trying to do a victory lap, and I fucking banned him from this channel. He can fucking eat a dick. The fucking big dumbass dummy. He's so stupid. I was advertising his company and supporting him like crazy. And then at some point this summer, he started talking about owning the libs and Democrats and dissing, like, and saying all this stuff. And I didn't mind arguing with him politically, but at a certain point, he started talking shit like he's a MAGA bro. And I'm like, dude, I don't support Trump, and I definitely don't support somebody's company that supports Trump. If you support Trump, I'm not using you. If you're a contractor, if you're any kind of worker and you have Trump shit on you, I'm telling you, you're fired. I'm not fucking using you. So yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. No, we've lost him to the MAGA cult. He's a fucking idiot. And I'll say it again, Bradley, over and over again. You're a fucking idiot, Cowboy. You're a dumbass. And you could come to me at the 905 chat in the next 15 minutes and say, well, you calling an idiot. I'll go off on you this morning. Yeah, I'll go off on you this morning in that chat. I've been saving it because it's a public place. Nobody needs to hear me go off on you in there because you keep baiting me in that chat saying, Lex, who you calling an idiot? Yeah, you're going to find out, motherfucker. If you come at me this morning, I will go off on you this morning. Yeah, this is the problem. It's like people that are low IQ are getting brainwashed into like supporting Trump and then like even thinking we should join United States. They're fucking idiots. This is what's going on here. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what happened, Cass. Bradley's been a great support. I like the guy, but he's compromised at this point. In some ways, his idea, like if you saw his Facebook, you'd be like, holy shit, what the fuck, Bradley? This is crazy. This is crazy. Like he's fallen into one of those places where it's just like, I don't know. They need to decult these people. They need to deprogram them because they're getting programmed by people like Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, all kinds of crazy ass people like Jordan Peterson, into believing such crazy misogynist shit that is not progressive, not going forward. It's dragging us back to the Stone Age. And they really preyed on poor, sad young men that have no life, that are incels, that can't get girls, and just fed off of their anger and motivated them. That was a big part of how they won this election, was going and getting disaffected young youths that feel like they're being attacked as young white men. I mean, seriously, this is what Bradley hangs out with. Seriously. Cool Cat saying, Jimmy, don't watch social media over that. It's a look of fake troll accounts. Exactly. They're trying to shape a perception to scare you and make it more real. Don't go to those places. If these places are triggering you or sending you stuff, don't follow it anymore. We don't have to give our attention to this shit. In some ways, I've decided not to give attention to Elon and Donald because that's what they want. And if I don't give them attention, in my world, the less they exist, the better. Trust me, because that's all they want. They just want to feel important and feed their sad, fragile egos. And that's all that matters to them. Yeah, Kareem's saying, never change, Lex. You're ruthless, and I love everything about it. I appreciate that, Kareem. And once again, man, my heart is for you guys right now and your family and dealing with the loss of your grandmother, man. And I totally understand about this weekend, man. There'll be other times. And if this goes really well, we're hopefully going to circle back and come back to Mississauga in January for a Valley Suns 905 game. So we'll see how this goes this Sunday. And hopefully you can come to the second one when we do it next year. All right, guys. Thanks again. Let's get out of here. We got less than 10 minutes. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys in the YouTube chat for the 905 versus the Greensboro Swarm. I think we're going to do better today because we got better personnel lining up to play. Jimmy, I love you, man. Don't be don't feel bad about doing that. In some ways, I needed to say what I need to say, and Cass had no idea what was going on with me and Bradley. In some ways, look, I'll be civil with Bradley in that chat because I can't. I mean, that's not my channel. I can kick him out of this channel because it's my right to, but I can't kick him out of 905, and I can coexist with them there. That's fine. I've joked around with them and been fine with them since I kicked him out of the channel. It's just that he's starting to come at me with an anger, like, what are you calling an idiot? And trying to like bow up to me like he wants to fight me or something. I will fight you, bro. I will fight you. I will put you on blast in there, in that chat. I will fight you. That's what's going to happen. That's right. Nameless wants the link. There you go. Mo's got it for you guys. Peace out, guys. Peace for sure, y'all. Seriously. And you know what, Bradley? If someday you realize, man, Lex was right and I shouldn't have fucking went MAGA cult, I hope you do someday get to the point where you have clarity and you understand just how duped you've been in this last year with this shit. That's the problem. People are falling into it. People that I care about that are actually very intelligent, smart people, they're falling into it. And I can't understand it. It's just really sad at this point. We're in a post-truth world and it's all about greed and just trying to get more and more for yourself and not giving a shit about anybody else. And it sucks. All right, let's go. Nameless saying, no beef, man. Come on, guys. It's disgraceful. We're a family. Nah, I'm done with him. I'm sorry, Nameless. You know how I am, Paisano. In some ways, look, I gave him all kinds of chances, too. He's been bugging me for most of this year. Let's just put it that way. This whole summer, he's been bugging me. Little piece of shit, Bradley. Fuck him. He's an idiot. And I'll say it over and over again on my channel, Bradley. I'm not going to try and bring you up anymore. But when this subject comes up, you may be my example of compromise by this fucking cult. It is a cult. Trust me. It's a cult because they have a leader that you can't disobey. And that's what cults are. When you have a leader, you can't disobey. So some people say, well, that's what you are, Lex, because you kicked Bradley out. No, that's not true. I keep Bradley all the time in the world to politically disagree with me on the channel But at a certain point, I was wasting time on my channel talking too much politics, partly because he was antagonizing me into doing it this summer. And then after the election and him rubbing it in that Trump won and coming and trying to do victory laps on me, fuck him. You ain't owning this lib, motherfucker. You can get the fuck out, is what I say to him. All right, let's go, Raptors. Let's go 905. I'll see you guys hopefully in the chat. And then tomorrow we'll do the reactions tomorrow morning for both the games. Let's go, Raptors, baby. Woo! Yeah.